I'm Dr. Roshan Parikh. I'm a deep meditation coach and spiritual teacher based in New York City. Recently, I had the opportunity to attend my third 10-day silent meditation retreat. Every time I attend a retreat, people ask me a lot of questions about the experience. So, not long before I left, I posted on my various social media accounts asking all of you to send me questions that you might have. Thanks to all of you who did. Today, I'm going to answer the most frequently asked questions. This is Meditation Support Retreat Edition. All right, first question. You're silent the whole time? The silence was the topic I got the most questions about. And the answer is yes, you're silent just about the entire time. The type of meditation retreat that I did was in a tradition known as Vipassana. And in this tradition, on the evening of check in day, you begin what's known as the noble silence. For the next 10 days, you're expected to keep silent the entire time until you receive permission to speak on the 10th day. Silence is necessary because speaking is a way your body can distract you. When you can't distract yourself with speaking, you're forced to notice what's actually happening in your mind and your body. Through meditation, you can help dissipate the excess mind and bodily sensory noise. You're actually told to ignore everyone around you as well. So, for example, when you're eating your meals, you might be sitting with other people, but even then, you mind your own business, you eat your meal, you clean your dishes once you're done, and then you move on with your day. There are a few exceptions to this rule, though. The first exception is usually once a day after lunch, you can sign up for a 10-minute time slot to speak with the teacher privately. So you can ask questions about the technique or process. The teacher will only talk to you about the technique or the process during this time. They will not entertain any sort of philosophical or dogma related questions. Another time you can speak with the teacher is at 9 p.m. at the end of the final meditation session. So you can go up to the teacher at that time at the front of the hall and ask your questions. And that's something you would do publicly. The next instance where you'd be able to speak, and actually you'd be asked to speak, is during a couple of sessions throughout the entire retreat. The teacher will have you speak with them, and they will check in on you to make sure that you're making good progress and that you're heading in the right direction. And finally, the last instance where you're allowed to talk is if you have a need for something. So let's say there's an issue with the food or perhaps some sort of facilities concern. You can speak with the student manager on site about those things. They're basically always with you in the group setting and they are very accessible. And of course, if you're dealing with an emergency, something, let's say medical or otherwise, you can let them know and they will assist in whatever way they can. If it's a serious medical emergency, they are allowed to have their phones on them, so they'll call 911. I should mention that other traditions and retreats might do the whole silence thing a bit differently, so you'll need to look into the requirements of any retreat that you might be interested in. Okay, next question. Do I need prior meditation experience to attend a 10-day silent meditation retreat? No, you don't need prior meditation experience to attend a retreat like this. However, it is my opinion that you would ideally have some experience with meditation before doing a retreat of this length and intensity. Given the amount of time you'd be sitting to meditate during a retreat like this, I would encourage anyone who is considering doing a longer retreat to develop your own personal practice and to get to a point where you can sit for at least an hour without moving, ideally a couple of hours. Otherwise, I would consider it as diving into the deep end or maybe biting off more than you can chew. When my clients ask me about long meditation retreats, that's the advice I typically give them. Okay, question three. Do I really have to hand over my phone? You do have to hand in your phone and your other tech that you might have on you, like your laptop or a smartwatch. The facilities management will actually lock those things away for the duration of the retreat, and then they'll give it back to you at the very end. As you might imagine, your phone is among the most distracting devices that you own. So, giving this up for the duration of the retreat is a necessity to help you meditate more effectively. Question 4. Can I read a book or write in a journal during the retreat? Nope. I know to many people, not being able to read a book or write in a journal might seem a bit extreme, but it's actually really important that you not give your wandering mind any sort of outlet for distraction. Reading a book or writing in a journal is a really easy way to distract yourself from the task at hand, which is meditation. The purpose of a retreat like this, at least in part, is to actually get you to face your mind noise and really any other mental activity that distracts you from being present in your life. Becoming conscious of that activity will help you dissolve it, but you need to allow yourself to notice it for long periods of time for meditation to have the intended effect. Next question. What is the daily schedule like? So, most days, the schedule is really the same. The schedule is that you wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. You have about 30 minutes till you need to get to meditating. You'll basically meditate until about 6:30. You may be told that you can meditate in the hall or in your room. The meditation hall is usually in a different building than the dormitory or the dining facility. So you may take that time to walk over to the meditation hall to meditate during this period if you so choose. The meditation hall is usually in a different building than the dormitory or the dining facility. So if you choose to meditate in the meditation hall, or if they ask you to do so, you'll walk over during that 4 to 4:30 period. 6:30 to 7:15 a.m. is breakfast. After that, until 8 a.m., you have a break. And you can use that time to get ready if you didn't get a chance to do that between 4 and 4:30, or you might just relax and take a break. Maybe you go for a walk, which you are allowed to do. 8 to 11 a.m. is meditation time. You do get breaks in between, so don't worry, you won't be sitting for 3 hours straight, but you will be meditating for the vast majority of that time. During this time, you might learn a new part of the technique, or you may be asked to just continue what you learned to do yesterday. From 11 a.m. to noon, it's time for lunch. After lunch, basically from noon to 1 p.m., you have the opportunity to take a break again. But during this time, as I previously mentioned, you have the opportunity to sign up for an interview slot with the teacher so you can ask any questions that you might have. This is one of those rare times where you are allowed to speak. Then from 1 to 5 p.m., you'll mostly be meditating with breaks in between every hour or so. There may be times where you might be given the option to meditate in your room rather than the meditation hall. You'll receive instructions about what you should be doing, and you can just follow those instructions. From 5 to 6 p.m., this is tea break. And what I'm about to tell you is very important. There is no dinner during a Vipassana retreat like this. New students are allowed to have tea and fruit during this time. Old students, like myself, who have attended a retreat like this before, are not allowed to have anything other than water, which they can add lemon juice to if they so choose. But that's really it. You might be wondering why they don't serve dinner. If you've ever had the opportunity to do any kind of substantial fasting, you'll find that fasting typically helps you improve your mental clarity and focus. This in turn will help you progress in your meditation practice more quickly. The organization that hosts these particular meditation retreats, Dhamma.org, is well aware of this phenomenon and they take advantage of it to help facilitate their students' progress in meditation. I can actually vouch for this effect personally. Outside of retreat in my regular life, I actually tend to skip dinner unless I have social plans. I find that it does help me meditate better, and I also find that it helps me sleep better. But outside of retreat, to each one's own. Try it out and see if it works for you. From 6 to 7 p.m., you'll meditate in the meditation hall and then be given a 10-minute break. Once you're back from your break, you'll receive what is referred to as the teacher's discourse, or discourse for short. This is a video that you'll watch of the person who helped spread Vipassana style meditation around the world, a man named S.N. Goenka. He'll talk you through what you've been doing that day meditation wise and why you've been doing it. This usually runs till about 8:15. Then from 8:15 to 9 p.m., you'll continue to meditate as a group in the meditation hall. At 9 p.m., you'll be dismissed to go to bed, but if you have any questions from 9 to 9:30 p.m., you can ask the teacher questions at the front of the hall. And again, this is one of those rare times where you can speak during the retreat. But typically everyone is required to be in their own bedrooms by 9:30 p.m. and it's lights out by 10 p.m. at the latest. That's the schedule. Are you expected to stay the whole time? Yes, you are. They want to ensure that you benefit from the whole process and technique. This is why I recommend being very sure that you can handle doing a silent retreat for 10 days. People frequently underestimate how challenging meditating for long periods of time can be. Most people think a meditation retreat is going to be the super easy activity, but it's actually a lot of internal hard work. Most people are simply not used to sitting still for long periods of time. People are also not used to having to face their mind activity for so long. This can be uncomfortable for a lot of people. When I mentioned that I'm attending a 10-day silent meditation retreat, the most frequent comment I hear is, I can't meditate for that long. My mind will keep wandering, or my mind is too noisy. That's precisely why you should meditate. But that aside, just make sure you know what you can handle and do your due diligence about what you're getting yourself into. Is a retreat like this good for your mental health? I'd recommend consulting with an appropriate medical professional about this question because I am not one. However, I can give you a more general answer. Peer reviewed research does point to the fact that meditation and thus retreats like this can be great for your mental health in the long run, particularly for some of the more common mental health concerns like depression, anxiety, or stress. But I must caution you against attending retreats in hopes that it will solve or cure a significant neurological or psychiatric problem. The center will actually give you a booklet that, in part, will tell you how people with significant mental health issues sometimes have tried to sit a Vipassana course with the hope or the intention that it will solve their psychiatric problems, and that a retreat like this is not a substitute for medical or psychiatric treatment. They'll explicitly tell you they do not recommend it for people with significant mental health issues. Is the retreat religious? Would I have to convert? No, retreats like this are not religious, and you do not have to convert. Unfortunately, lots of people have come to associate meditation with religion. Fundamentally, meditation has absolutely nothing to do with religion. If someone told you that they were going to the gym to do Christian squats or Islamic deadlifts or Judaic bench presses, you would probably look at them funny, knowing that religion doesn't have anything to do with exercise. You should perceive meditation in the same way. Meditation is really just the process of using your consciousness and perhaps breathing techniques to alter your nervous system activity in a way that's more beneficial and peaceful to you. What if I have some kind of emergency? If you have an emergency, you can let the student manager know and they'll respond accordingly. The student manager and the teachers do have their cell phones with them. So if they need to call 911, for example, they can do that. And by the way, before I go on retreat, I also give the address and contact number for the center to my loved ones in case they have an emergency and need to get in touch with me. If an emergency happens in the outside world while you're on retreat, people can still get in touch with you if necessary. How much does it cost? I can't speak for how much other meditation retreats cost. They can often be in the thousands, but the one I did through Dhamma.org was free. This particular meditation tradition tries to keep the entire process untainted by commercialism, so everything is donation based. To run the facilities, they do these whole retreats through donated funds and also through volunteer power. In fact, if you attend a retreat, you'll notice that there are servers serving the course. Servers cook all of the food and help take care of other things to make sure that the retreat runs smoothly for the attendees. What's interesting is they don't let you volunteer or donate until you've actually sat at least one 10-day course. Once you've done so, you're welcome to donate or serve courses as you like. And though they do tell you about how everything is donation based and how you can go about donating, they never push you to do so. In fact, they tell you to only donate if you feel you've benefited from the course. Those were the most commonly asked questions that I received from all of you about attending 10-day silent meditation retreats. If you have any other questions about meditation that you'd like for me to answer, please put them in the comments below or fill out the form that I've linked in the description. If you also could do me a favor, please like and subscribe to this channel. I would greatly appreciate it, as you doing so will help me get this information to those who need it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.